Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us on our weekly leadership Zoom. I'm so excited because this week I have the amazing Kortney Good on with me. Kortney and I have known each other for a long time before Lavelle. We have been friends and been on this network marketing journey together. And it's been, I mean, Kortney's amazing, you guys. And it's so crazy because I remember when I first met Kortney, she was like, I don't want nothing to do with, I mean, she was not interested. she
Right.
was she was not into network marketing. She's like, no. Um, and I remember her actually putting me through the ringer about just the questions she asked me about the products, because if you guys know anything about Kortney, she is so healthy and puts all this good stuff in her body. And I was like, I don't know how to answer your questions. But this, what I love about you, Courtney, is that you are that person that you know your stuff. You dive into things, and it's people like you that give like Lavelle products even more credibility, because I know you know your stuff. And it
Mhm.
was one of the things that when you came over to Lavelle before I did, um, it's one of the reasons I knew these were good products, because I knew there was no way you were going to sign up with a company that didn't have good products. But I can't wait for you to share. We have so many people, and I actually have had you on before, but it's been a while, and we've had
Mhm.
so many brand new people sign up with Lavelle that don't know who you are and don't know your story. So I wanted to start with, your story. What were you doing before network marketing? And then kind of how did you find network marketing? And then we'll go into how you found Lavelle.
Yeah, absolutely. So before I got into this awesome business that I didn't know it was going to be so amazing, I was a personal trainer for 16 years. I was an assistant for a chiropractor. I was a half of assistant for a homeopathic doctor. So health was definitely in the forefront of my brain forever, as long as I can know. And so with so I did that, and then I found a different company in network marketing that I did for a couple years. And you guys, I just never tapped into it. So when they say like get on these calls or get on this, I never did any of that because I've always known that you have to take supplements. I'm not like blind to that. I know we can't get in our foods, well, we can get in the products. So for about a good 15 years, you guys, and there's no joke about this, I would take 18 to 20 supplements every single day for 15 years. And some people would ask me like, well, why would you start thriving? Why would you do this? Well, I never in my life have seen a product that there was stories being attached to it. Again, I was taking 18 to 20 supplements a day, did not notice anything. But guess what? Nobody else did either. It wasn't like, so I worked at the gym. So I've always was talking about supplements. If you guys remember GNC, well, I'm sure there's still GNC, but they would have like the first Tuesday of every month, 25% off. And I'd send all my friends there, and anybody, I'm like, you got to go get this, you got to go get that. No reason for the fact of what it did, because I knew we should supplement, right? And I always tell people, Lisa, at the end of my vitamin career, even though I'm still taking vitamins, but at the end of my vitamin career, I was literally just buying product packages that were prettier than others. It wasn't what was inside. I was literally buying vitamins and minerals by the packaging because nothing worked anyways, right? And I think I might be going over your question here, but um, so when I saw Lavelle on Facebook, and me and Lisa, like, again, we were in a business together. She was my upline. And she knows I just wasn't all in. Well, because for real, the product wasn't changing my life. So it was really hard to me. I felt like I was actually a salesperson. Okay, of course, now I feel like I'm a storyteller. So it was just kind of a little bit different. And so I kept seeing my friend, Lisa's friend, our upline, Chastity, post on Facebook about this company, and I just didn't really understand it. And I was just kind of following her a little bit. And then she said, watch this video. So back then it was like a 7-minute video, which honestly, I still love it. And I was super intrigued by the Lavelle video. You guys, if you've never watched that 7-minute video, do it for my life. Just watch it. Like, give yourself 7 minutes. I was so intrigued by it. Like, there was like people on jet skis with like money falling down, and like older people running in the woods. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be on a jet ski with money falling down. And I want to be older like that, running in the woods. And this was like such a great story. You know, I'm like, I'm loving it. But at the very end of this video, it said in 3 simple steps. I was like, well, oh gosh, great. Now I can't even have a jet ski with money flying down, because now it's only 3 simple steps. Why in the heck would I go from 18 to 20 that has impacted my life whatsoever? I'm still tired. I'm still exhausted. I'm not living the life I want by any means. I knew that. I was like, I worked out. It doesn't matter if you work out, you guys. I just want to let you guys know that working out has nothing to do with filling in your nutritional gaps. Nothing. So everyone's, well, you work out all the time, you drink enough water. Well, there's so much more to be had to feel good besides just that. So it said in 3 simple steps. I was like, no, thanks. Sorry, like, not going to happen. Thank God. And if you guys are newer and you're not doing this, or you just kind of started doing this and you stopped doing this, make sure you share that Lavelle fan page. I'm telling you what, that is a key to not having to work a whole lot, by just being able to share, again, that third party validation with a whole bunch of people that can change your life. Chastity's story didn't make me sign up. Chastity's story is absolutely amazing, but it was so different than mine. But because she had me like the Lavelle fan page, you guys, how many times have you heard this? Where you heard someone say, yeah, I was laying in bed at night, scrolling through Facebook, looking at these stories, and I kept doing it again. And all of a sudden, I'm actually going to the Lavelle fan page. It's crazy. For so long, well, almost 3 months, I literally thought people are getting paid to put stories on the Lavelle fan page. What do you mean? There's stories attached to these 3 simple steps. Bull. You know, I was like calling bull on that. And then guess what? 3 months later, I was still tired. I was still exhausted. I still wasn't living the life that I want. I know that I was not feeling like the mom I want. That was the worst part, is being that guilty mom of, you know, because you're irritable, you're tired. And think about all your friends right now while I'm saying this are not thriving with you yet, because you know everyone needs this product. But, you know, I throughout the day, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, you know, God, I'm just tired. I'm just a tired mom, just trying to do the best I can, but it wasn't good enough. And then what happens, you guys? This is the one thing that really got me to thrive. When I was reading the Lavelle fan page, my son was 3 at the time, you know, just like 3-year-old crying just the whole life. And I remember just kind of like, oh gosh, I just can't wait for him to go to bed. Well, I remember hours later, I seen him, he was sleeping, and I was just looking at him thinking, wow, like, now I want him up because he's so freaking cute, but I couldn't handle just life. You know what I mean? I called Chassie that next day. I was like, I have to try this product, because I'm hearing about moms feeling better, dads feeling better, the community of people's homes were changing. I wanted that in my life. You guys, as simple as saying yes to the Thrive experience, I've started to, you know, I day 1, you know, whatever, took the products correctly. Day 3, I started noticing something. Y'all, I still wasn't really kind of believing it, but I felt a little, you know, fog lifting out of my brain. I was feeling some extra energy. It was August in Ohio, so it was nice out anyways, or maybe it was just one of those nice days. And by day 10, I knew this is a product that I could not live without. Actually, I kind of knew it on day 7. Again, the guilty mom, not living the life that I want. Imagine if I'm feeling like a bad mom, I'm not doing anything else in life that's okay. I'm not going to work okay. I'm not being that good, you know, coworker. I'm probably not being the best, you know, all the things has to do with how you feel. Everything impacts that. The way you learn, the way you grow, the way you teach, the way you care, the way you love, it all impacts the way you actually feel. So like day 7, I noticed the impact of my home was settling. It was like not like a hurricane, right? It was slowing down. I was like, wow, you know, and I say this all the time when I share my story, because it's absolutely true. I knew at that moment in my life, it sounds probably kind of weird and funny, but I'm not even kidding. I knew at that moment I ruled my home. And I know that sounds like so conceited or something, that since Brian wasn't thriving at that point. And the reason why I'm saying that, because I was settling down. I was starting to feel better. And guess what? My family felt that, right? And then guess what? My friends started to see that. My family started to see that. It changes you. And so I went all in. I don't know, Lisa, you probably want to ask me another question. I don't even know if I'm answering the
No,
right.
no, this is all good. And
Okay.
and I think it's so huge to point out that, one of the parts of your stories that I love is the fact that, we were in another company together. And like you said, you didn't have the passion for the product. And with this, it was completely different. And like for everybody on here, if you're not using our products, it may be one of the biggest problems that you're having climbing the ladder of our comp plan. Because if you don't have passion for these products, it's gonna come off like you're selling something. It's so huge. And I mean, I've watched people's businesses where, they have ups and downs, and they haven't been consistent with the product. And it's exactly that. When you're not passionate about, and we have many products, guys, it doesn't even need to be the Thrive experience, but when you're not passionate about, something you're selling, that's where the line comes in, and it kind of gets difficult. And I think that's huge to point out. But so did you start as a customer, or did you jump right in as a promoter?
I went right in as a promoter because if I thought if I could even make 20 bucks a week, I would have been happy.
Why not,
I,
right? Why
exactly.
not? Did you
Right.
get your VIP bonuses?
I got my VIP 800. I missed my VIP 1600 by, I don't know, like, I don't know. I missed that. I think I got it like a couple days later after like the VIP ended. I got my 4K iPad. Um, did I get an iPad? I did get an iPad. That's how old I am. No, I'm just kidding. Um, I did get my iPad. I kind of know where you're going to ask me all the rest of the questions now because I'm on enough of these calls.
You've been on enough of these to know I want to know your timeline. How long did it take you to go
Exactly.
200K?
Well, this is kind of funny too, because I'll hear people on your call and they're like, this day, that day. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to sit down one day and really figure this out, because I was just like, at that point, I was just going. But I got 12K in 6 weeks, like 40K. I'm going to say like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. 4 or 5 months after that, I went 80K. Then I had a huge party at 80K, Lisa, for like my whole life. I was 80K, I mean, which is fine, whatever. But I stayed there for a hot minute. I would say even a year. And I think that I got to 200K at like 23 months or 24 months of being with Lavelle.
Right. So, I mean, it was fast. I mean, I tell anybody, if anybody goes to 200K within 5 years, that's
Oh,
fast, in my opinion. Like,
yeah.
it's going to take most people that long to get there, because you're building a business. Businesses, and even if you go, like I tell people this all the time, I remember I went 200K in 30 days, whoopee, and then I lost it. That's a great story, but it didn't sustain itself. It did
Right.
not sustain itself, because when you build something that quickly, you don't know what's working, what's not, who's going to quit, who's going to, it just, you really don't get to see where your business is sitting until a few years in, when you
Mhm,
kind of are like, okay, this is where we're at. This is what's solid. Then I can
mhm.
continue to grow from here. But you've been doing this now for how many years?
It'll actually be 6 years, August 4th.
Oh my God, it's so crazy. I just said my 4-year anniversary with Lavelle is going to be October 15th. I'm like, I've been here 4 years. How
Wow.
is that even possible? Like,
Right.
it's just so crazy to, like, time flies when you're having fun. It's so true.
Hmm.
So, I always ask this on this call, because I think it's so important for people to hear about not just the successes, but the shit, the shit
Yeah.
too. Because guess what? This is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's a business. Like, I think
Hmm.
people get that high in the beginning where nothing can go wrong, and you're just like, oh my God, this is awesome. And even if you're not moving that fast, it's kind of like that feeling of something new and it's exciting. And then all of a sudden, reality sets in. Oh, this is a business. It's not always going to be amazing. And
Hmm.
I just think that that's the part where people either make it or break it. They're either like, okay, I'm not about this. I can't handle it. or they're like, okay, yeah, I've hit my first hurdle. I'm gonna get over it. What
Yeah.
are some of the things that have happened to you over the last 6 years that you feel like have been kind of like those monumental moments that you had to get past?
Yeah, it really, honestly, Lisa, it started at the beginning and it really kind of ended at the beginning. I wasn't gonna carry anything with me. I knew the product worked. Okay, and then the opportunity that Lavelle gives us, I knew that I just literally had to put my blinders on, and I really, when I say that, I actually mean that. Again, it wasn't overnight. My biggest hurdles, Lisa, has really nothing to do with my organization, my team. It really doesn't. It's the outside noise is what almost kind of catapulted my business. I mean, I remember I just got to 12K, or I think I just got to 12K. Life was great. I was like, this is so amazing. You know, money wise, I mean, I was like robbing Peter to pay Paul, like my whole life. I didn't know any different than that. Right. And getting a little, I remember like going to the gas station and putting gas in my car without looking and see how much it costs. I remember my husband said, how much was your gas? Because it was always like a process. You know, you get paid on a Friday, and I'm like, all right, I have this much money. So if I put this much money, dude, that was my whole life trying to figure that out. It's like I was like a hamster wheel, right? And so the outside noise got to me right away of friends and family, the ones I care about the most, the ones I surround myself with, all the ones that I thought that would always have my back were the ones that definitely did not have my back. That kind of halted me in a sense of my mindset. And I wake up in the middle of the night wondering, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? But then I get up in the morning, Lisa, and guess what? I get a text message from somebody saying, oh my gosh, I just took a walk for the first time in 7 years. Oh my gosh, I just went to the gym. Or, oh my gosh, I literally had 4 glasses of water today and I haven't done that in a 2 week span straight. Then I was like, okay, it doesn't matter. And then I think that's what it is. It's not so much what goes on in the business side of it, because that's going to happen. And I'm okay with that. And every day is a new day and you just grow from things. And I hope that's what I'm teaching my team, to do that as well. But when you start to realize that it doesn't matter what anybody thinks, and here's the thing, every single person, which I had a lot, you guys, I probably had more people on me than I think probably most, just because I've had this conversation with people before. There was not one person by a long shot that I would actually want to switch my life and have their life. You know how like you drive by someone's house and you're like, dude, they got the nicest car, the nicest house, the family looks perfect, the kids are always got their hair done, but dude, nothing. It wasn't even like that. Everybody that, though they were my friends, but didn't mean I wanted their life. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really want their life, but I didn't want it at all. So I had to start doing like that checkup from the neck up. I'm like, wait a second. I really even like, no, like I'm not going to let somebody else's opinion change my future. But Lisa, what I've noticed in this business, it's not so for just what I've noticed. It's not so much what goes on in the core of your group, of your structure, the people that you like do life with in your organization more than others, or whatever, or all of them. It really is the others. It's you working at a cubicle and you don't even know the person at the end of the row, and they see your DFT and they say, what is that? You're like, oh my god, it's my Herbal Nutrition, or whatever it is that you say, and they're like, oh, you're doing that, even though they don't even know what it is. But guess what, you're obviously doing something more. I realize the more you do for yourself, the more you do for your mind, for your soul, and other people know it that aren't doing that. Now you're thriving, friends. I'm sure all your thriving friends are supporting you. Yes, go read this book. Oh my God, what'd you do listen to today? That's cool, right? But it's the other people that just say, oh, I can't believe you're doing that. I can't believe you're taking vitamins. I cannot believe you're putting those in your body. That's crazy. Something my doctor tells me to do, but I can't believe you're doing it. But I'm going to make you feel like enough crap that you might even think of stopping. That's why a lot of people quit. I mean, I think, Lisa, you've said that I've heard you say that a million times. Most people quit because of someone else's opinion. So have I been through a rough things? Yeah, I'm sure there's nothing I don't really remember besides other people's opinions. That's all I remember.
Yeah, and you know what? We've talked about that before. It's so crazy how like these people that have been your friends for years suddenly don't want anything to do with you, or they avoid you because you think, I don't know really if they think we're trying going to try to sell them, or and then you get those people that are just jealous of your lifestyle. Like they're mad because you're moving forward and
Mhm.
they don't want to do that, but they think you've changed when really you haven't. We talk about that all the time. We haven't changed at all. We're the same person. You're the same Courtney that I met, when we first started all this. Like you are no different, but the people around you just perceive it that way. And
Yeah.
it's a gut wrenching thing because you're like, man, I'm losing all these people. But what you really don't understand until you're really in the thick of it is how many people you've gained. Like we talk about
Exactly.
that all the time. Oh my God. Like you're like last time I was at your house, you're like, oh my God, Lavelle people will come over, we hang out. Like
Yeah.
we have these friendships. It's so much more than a business. We travel together, we do life together. Like
Mhm.
it's just so different. Like what other kind of business could we ever be in that's like this? There just
Right.
isn't another one out there. It's just so awesome. And you
Mhm.
realize later on that all these things that you were so hurt by and people that aren't in your life anymore, you realize you don't really miss them that much. Like
Mm-mm.
you kind of figure out people are in your life for a reason, a season, whatever they say. But
Right.
yeah, it's so true. And you're so right. Like we all go through the things in business. And, one of the things I really, really look up to you with is your team and the way that you literally have taken your team and created this family. And I think that's the key. That is the ticket to success, to long-term success in this industry is taking your team and making your team family. Not
Mhm.
like not like I mean, I'm talking more than a business. And that is when people don't leave you. That's when a team stays
Mhm.
close together and tight knit. And yeah, you're going to have that, one leg or one person, or, we all have that just doesn't kind of fit into the mold or doesn't want to be part. But for for the majority of the time I've known you, you've been so good at just caring about people and pulling them in and making it more than just a business. And I think that's why you've had this team that has stayed with you from the beginning, really. What do you think? I mean, what do you do? What are you doing to create that?
Well, honestly, I mean, I think, and I see this in a lot of people. I just that community. I just, and this sounds negative, and once I say it, you guys are not, you're gonna know it's not negative. Um, when I go to like a grocery store or like anywhere I go, and someone is like not checking me out, but like checking me out with my money. Um, I always look at it like there's something going on in this person's life. Like, and again, I'm not trying to be negative, but I think I try to overly try to not, I'm not annoying you guys by any means when I'm trying to like make people feel good. I know that there's life going on in everyone's life. It doesn't matter. You might never tell a single soul, but we all know right now there is some things that are going on in our heart and our soul and our mind that you're not going to share with somebody and you're keeping it inside. And I love the fact how this works with Lavelle. And I think it's different, Lisa, that it maybe could be in another business. And I'll say the reason why is because we get to wake up each morning and take 3 simple steps. So already we are showing up in life different because we are already feeling better right away, right? And then most people, my team is definitely very organic. Like I don't have anybody that came from another team or nothing. If they did it for 5 years and they sold one product. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's totally, totally organic. And what I always hear from people when they first start is, I've never self-developed. I've never looked at a motivational quote. I've never listened to a video. I haven't read a book since high school. And I think what happens is when you start to feel better and you start already the first thing in the morning showing up in life differently because you're going to start feeling better here in a hot second, everything starts to change. The way you show up, the way you talk to people, the way you communicate with people. I don't know, I guess I don't really know how to answer that question very well, but I guess it would be, I'm always in trying to be the light for someone else. And it's not just about business. When you start they start know, liking, and trusting you just as a friend and as a leader, and know that you want more for them. What am I doing to pour into my team each week? What am I self-developing? And Lisa, I hear you say this a couple of times, and it really kind of hit home to me, like in the last year. You were talking about, like, okay, let's say you read a book, and I'm reading like 475 right now, I swear. Don't always go into your team and say, go read this book, go read this book. Don't get me wrong, I still share with my team to do that. Instead, what can you go and constantly be teaching your team and helping with your team? Right? Like you, Lisa, you do these Zooms and all your other, you guys are always really consistent when it comes to your team calls and stuff. And I think that's what I kind of try to do too, is make sure that I'm always there and I'm always trying to learn to be able to teach. Because sometimes somebody doesn't have a 2 hours to read a book like I do. Maybe they only have 20 minutes. Maybe I can just highlight these amazing things that I've learned. But I think it has a lot to do with, yeah, how you care about somebody. And I think people can see through you. Do you care about people or not? I care about you if you're a thriver or not. If you don't like me and you're not a thriver, I still care about you. You know what I mean? And I think that, we know that life is growth. We have to be constantly growing us and feeding us, our mind. We feed our body every day with our Thrive supplements, right? But we forget about this major thing up here, that really controls the way you react to everything during the day. So I don't know. I just think maybe a little bit of love. I think that's just love.
I always say, like, I've got, a couple leaders on my team, and people always come to me and say, how are they doing what they're doing? And I'm like, honestly, you can't teach being a good human. I don't know if that makes sense, but there's just something that some people, be a good human, care about people. Like, don't, if the only time you're in somebody's inbox is asking if they ran their auto ship, or,
Right.
what, it's
Right.
just insensitive. And I think that it has to be about so much more than that. And that is why people feel valued, as
Mhm.
wherever they're at, loving them
Mhm.
where they are, whether they are running an auto ship right now, thriving free, or bringing in 5 grand, whatever. It doesn't really
Right.
matter where they sit, but just making them know that they are a valued part of the team, a part of this company, whatever they
Mhm.
decide to do. I, I think that one of the hardest things to do is, the longer you're in, it's like building your network, because
Mhm.
you've got to get so creative. Oh my gosh. And with
Mhm.
COVID going on, I know you are like me. Like, we're both talkers. So we just love to share this in person with people. Like, oh my God, you got to try it. Like,
Mhm.
we're just like, where other people are afraid if somebody says, what's that thing on your arm? Me and you are like, please ask me. Please
Yeah.
ask me. I just want to throw up all over you right now. Um, because we love that in-person thing, and with COVID going on, it's like, oh my God, when is this whole world going to get back to normal?
Mhm.
But it will, and it's going to. History will always repeat itself, and it will all get back to normal at some point.
Right.
But I know a lot of the ways that I built my network in the beginning was like through expos and events, because I didn't really have supportive family and friends. And then now I've learned how to kind of navigate through Facebook groups and stuff like that.
Mhm.
How do you, like, add new people to Facebook and build your network?
Well, kind of the same way. I love groups. And I know a lot of people are definitely building their business through groups right now. And this is what I would say with that. I think there's a lot of times that people are like, they'll be in 25 groups, and there's really you can't really give value to 25 groups. That 25 groups are going to see your name every other day. So I always just tell people, find a couple things that you're really interested in, like whatever it is that your hobby it is. There's a certain exercise, maybe you like, yoga, or maybe you like spinning, or just, just a few things. And here's the deal: don't take 2 seconds to figure out what you like. If you don't know what you like right now, you don't really know what drives you besides Thrive, then just kind of figure that out, and see the things that you're passionate about, or the things that you want to learn. There's might be a desire that you have to learn how to knit. I don't know. And getting in a knitting group, or whatever it is that you have, getting in those groups. And for me, I'll be honest, Lisa, I don't, and you and I are different with this, because I think we've done a call about groups before. um I get into the groups. I'm not a big person that like, I don't do the posts, and I'm not like, oh, have a great day or whatever, you know what I mean? Or whatever the post would be in that group. I'm in boxer groups, or if I have a boxer dog, I'm in cycling groups and stuff like that. I'm a commenter. I comment. So in one of my groups, we have new people that join every day. Welcome, just like we do with Thrive. Welcome, 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 welcome. I mean, I'll say more than that. But here's what I do, and this is what me and you are different, Lisa, is I literally friend request a lot of people in those groups. I love on them for a minute. Oh my God, that's so great. Good luck or whatever, whatever it is in these groups I'm doing, I'll add as friend. Okay, right away. I comment, add as friend right away, so they can see that I commented on, and their notifications come up. They're gonna say, oh, Kortney Good comment on your post, and Kortney Good asked to be my friend. Well, guess what? Let's say it's my boxer group. Again, people get a part of Lavelle because of community. They decide to thrive because they see all the fun that we have, right? And some people don't even know about the product yet. They're more excited about hanging out with you in your group of people, or doing fun things and going on getaways, than they are the actual product yet, right? And so in these groups, I feel like it's the same exact thing. She's like, oh, she has a boxer and she wants to be my friend. Cool, let's be friends, or whatever it is. So I would say not probably 80% of my people that I sign up, and they're mostly customers, come from groups. Because guess what? At some point, I don't even know if they asked me to be their friend or I asked them. They probably think the same thing. Like, how did we become friends? I've had people message me and say, because I have a Peloton, and we'll be messaging back and forth like on each other's post. And then I'll post something about a Peloton. And then they said, I didn't even know you had a Peloton. Like, they didn't even know I was friends with them because of Peloton. It starts to, like, life gets in the way in everyone's way. And I think we hesitate to do something that's not comfortable for us, that's a little bit fearful. So I'm in groups. I spend more time in groups than I do scrolling Facebook, but I still don't spend a lot of time in groups. I don't spend a ton of time on Facebook as it is, but when I do, it's really sectioned off. So I section my days off like almost every single day. Not so well on the weekends, but Monday through Friday for sure. Where if I'm going to do some follow-ups, I'm going to set a timer on my phone. It's changed my life. Missy Kremps, like, I don't know if she suggested it or I did it one with her, but I would set 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes here throughout the day. And I'm going to go to a Facebook group and I'm going to comment and I'm going to ask people to be my friend. Now, you guys might think that I'm crazy for doing that, but 80% of my customers have came from that. Not right away, but here's the one thing I will say with that. If you decide you want to add people to your social media, because you can't keep your social media the same people. It has to grow. I mean, you got to grow it. You can make millions off social media. I mean, social media could be like a 6 weeks course. I mean, I'm probably could go through it all over again. There's so much to learn constantly on what to do or what not to do. But if you're not growing your social media, and you're only talking to the same people over and over and over and over, that's really not the goal. But the one tip I'll say is when I go on like a little rage of asking people to be my friend, I only do it like twice a week, but it's intentional time. I make sure that I don't have really any Thrive stuff within like the last day and a half. So sometimes I'll post 2 to 3 times a day, not Thrive stuff, but just in general. So I want to know if they're going to go to my page, if they're going to scroll, some people might early scroll, but if they only going to scroll a little bit, they're only going to see like I don't know, something about anything else but Thrive. That way they're not trying to think that I'm trying to sell them something. So Lisa, groups for me right now, but yes, otherwise, I'm definitely out and about. I'm definitely out places where I'm showing my DFT. That's the way to go for me, because they can see our excitement, obviously, belly to belly. So
There's nothing quicker than moving the relationship along when you meet somebody in person. Like, they just feel
right.
like they already know you, even if it was for 5 minutes. And it's so much easier I can convert somebody to a customer or a promoter that I've met in person within a week. Whereas if I met them in a Facebook group, it might take 2 or 3 months, just because it's
Mm-hmm.
just a different relationship building. But that was the best tip ever, you guys. When you're friend requesting people, I do the same thing, Kortney. Like, I don't want my Facebook page to look like a Lavelle ad. And sometimes it can look that way, especially like end of month right now where I've got everybody tagging me, or like a Flex Friday. where like
Yeah.
everybody's thing wants to go to my page. And it's like, okay, you don't look like a normal human. Like you look like someone that just sells something. And if I was just friend requested and I clicked on you and all I saw was an ad, I'd be like, oh, okay, I don't unfriend. Like I would unfriend them really quick because it would be, I don't know, it just didn't seem like they were a normal human. So
Mhm.
I love that tip because I think it's so crucial that you guys are always cleaning up your feed. And we're not saying hide Lavelle. By no means are we saying hide the fact that you're a Lavelle promoter. But show people you like Kortney, I love your page. You know, you're doing this with your kids. Your page is always motivational, always inspirational. You are you know, always out and about doing something. Your photos are clean and pretty. I mean, eh, dude, I mean, if you guys want a perfect example of a way a page should look, Courtney's is it's awesome. I love your
Oh,
page.
great. Let me go check it real quick. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
steal a lot of your stuff, by the way, all the time. Thank God for Facebook because sometimes I don't know what I would post if it wasn't for people like you. I'm like, oh, good, steal that. I'll use it 3 days later.
Exactly.
Using that 3 days later, save
Yeah.
it in my phone. Um, so when you know what, I guess when you guys get new team members and you're taking them through those first couple weeks, what do you think are instrumental things you need to do with somebody that's brand new?
Oh, I love this question. Actually, love this question. This is exactly what I tell people do, what I do, what I think is super, super crucial right away. And it's kind of what I just said a minute ago, but this is just the real truth. When somebody new comes on, you're going to protect them like a father and love them like a mother. Because guess what? What happens to those new people that get started, that quit within 5 seconds? What we just talked about. They listen to somebody that they don't care about. They have to know they have support. They have to know that they have a team. And so that's the first thing I do. You have to actually, you got to sometimes have that conversation because it happens to everybody that puts on a DFT. Somebody that it's not just about pride. If you tell somebody, I will get to that answer all the way. If you tell somebody you're going to start doing keto, okay, let's say you tell your best friend, your husband, I don't know, whatever, your kids, I'm going to start keto tomorrow. What are they going to say? No, you ain't. Oh, yeah, good luck with that. Okay, let's say you tell somebody, I'm going to start working out tomorrow. And to your people, or maybe not even really your people, maybe your person next door or at your work. You don't really know her, but you're telling her you're going to start working out tomorrow. You know what she's going to say? No, you ain't. Oh, good luck. I heard you say that before. It's that's what people do. That's how people have conversations. More conversations are like that than positive. So when somebody new gets on, we have to protect them from that right away, right? And then a good way to do that right away is make sure they get that third party credibility right away, that they're either in a three-way call, a three-way chat, a three-way whatever, but connect them to somebody else besides you. Connect them to somebody else besides you. Don't hold them back. Don't think that you got it. You're new, or even if you've been around for 2 years. I've been around, I just said, for 6. I feel new. I can't even tell you. I put a post on Facebook on Sunday or Saturday. I'm like, I can't tell you how many things I learned today. Always learning, always growing, right? So you always want to make sure that person can get a little bit of all these people, but get them in that group page right away. But in that first 14 days, um, get the community going, get them knowing that somebody else has their back, because it's not just you. If I tell my neighbor I signed her up today and I tell her my story, she's super good about it. She's like, all right, cool, I'm going to sign up because your story is good. I'm going to sign up. But what if I start talking to her about the business more? VIP 800, VIP 1600. But then also I'm like, yeah, you got to do this. And then she sees me like picking my weeds outside, or, she's like, oh, Courtney's just, like they just, not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying like Courtney's just Courtney. She's my neighbor. Courtney's just my coworker. Courtney's just been my friend for 20 years. Or Courtney's I don't know, my aunt. If they're just listening to you and that's it, it's boring. Like they just don't want to anymore. Just make sure you attach them to people. But it is, like we hear this all the time. Just get the 2 customers, 2 promoters, 2 people that are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And we got 2 people that have that, that other mindset. They have that business mindset. And that's all we kind of keep doing, and just keep attaching those people that are interested in Thrive to somebody else. It really is. My team, we're like 3-way called freak of natures. So it's always about attaching them to other people and not just let them listen to you. Again, when our friends know us, they judge us more, in a sense, not judging us as a person. Let's say someone starts with you, and you guys went to school together, and she decided to be a brand promoter with you, and now you're trying to tell her what to do, and she's like, I remember Kortney and I used to do beer bongs, in the back of the school, and now she's going to tell me how to, not that she's not going to listen to me or listen to you, but they will definitely listen to somebody that they don't know. I always tell people, I don't know the magic. I know what the magic is, but there is some sort of magic, and third party credibility. I mean, it's just, there's magic there. So I just make sure that happens definitely the first 2 weeks. And there's the one thing I will say too, when people get started. And again, I don't try to make things going to be so easy. You're going to go 200K in 30 days like I all are. No, I don't say that. When I talk about the VIP bonuses, I might have to add, you guys, that there is successful millionaires in this company that didn't get either bonus, because a lot of people, that 14 days sometimes murders people if they don't get it. They actually feel like they're an epic failure, and we know they're not. We know they tried. We know they did the duty, trying to get it. It just doesn't go sometimes. So I let them know that. I know people that didn't get to the 30, the 4K in 30 days, and man, but they just rocked out $1 million. 6 months ago, I saw them go up. They just earn $1 million. You know what I mean? So, and then when I talk about the cloud office, it's overwhelming. We got to remember where it was when we started. There's a cloud office. You got tickers. You got people telling you to go on this team call. You got a 3-way call. You've never done a 3-way call. You're doing so many different things when people get started. But I always just tell people, you know what? It took me like 6 months to understand the cloud office. 6 months. So they're like, oh, guess what? There's some people that'll call you 25 days later and say, I don't know if I can do this. I don't even know how to, I keep forgetting where the reports are. I mean, some people quit because of the minimal things in life. They quit because they're not logging in right, or they don't understand. That's the least of your worries is the back office. I mean, you got to understand it, but that's not going to grow your success by understanding every little thing that's back there. But people think they need to know that kind of stuff right away. So I definitely try to paint a bigger picture. And Lisa, like I always hear you say, and I learned that years ago, probably from you, that 5 to 7 year plan. And I had that right away. I had that 5 to 7 year plan as soon as I hit that promoter button, because I thought what I was going on in my life right now ain't going to get any better if I don't put my blinders on and get focused, and knowing that, 5 years from now is going to happen anyways, hope to God. So I might as well grow. Next week is going to be next week. You could, so the time is going to come. What are you doing during that time to make it better than it was before? So, that's what I would say with that, Lisa.
Dude, I can't even say enough how everything you just said is pure gold. There is no, we get it. 2 customers, 2 promoters. Okay, blah, blah, blah. That seems easy enough. However, if it was that easy, Lavelle would not be attaching crazy bonuses to it. It's really not that easy, especially for somebody brand new who does not have a market, who has never done this industry before, who does not have a network yet. They are probably going to struggle doing that. And, the longer you do this, the more you see, obviously, 1 out of every 10 promoters signing are getting VIP bonuses, whatever. It's not that doesn't make them a failure. And you've got to, I think, be there every little step of the way in that first month, being that light, that shining, guiding light in their ear, in their face, saying, it's okay. That's all right. No big deal. We keep going. And you are so right. How many people get frustrated about the silliest things, like I can't log in right? Or I've had people quit over one little thing in the beginning. They're looking for that one thing to go wrong to make it okay to give up on themselves, because that's what people do. You know that. I mean, how many people, when you were personal trainer, probably set goals in the beginning of the new year that didn't even get back with you by the 15th, you know?
Right.
It's like most of them are like, see ya, already ate the piece of chocolate cake, I give up. And that'd be me. I'm on that list. But it's just like getting them feeling part of a team, a network, knowing that it's way more than this. This is, you know, it's always crazy to me when people quit so easily. And I always do think that if somebody does quit within their first 14 days, I know this is going to be the harshest statement and a lot of people are going to slap me, but I think it's our fault. If somebody quits within their first month, I believe it's us. And I totally believe that. And here's why. You either sign somebody that should have never been a promoter, they were not ready, or once you sign them, you didn't do what you needed to do to keep that person. You didn't reassure them, you didn't plug them in, you didn't go through the steps, you were not connecting, you didn't make them feel a part of the team. I'm sorry, but if you're constantly signing people and losing them, you've got to look at one of those things. You are either signing people that shouldn't be promoters, they weren't even ready. Maybe you talked them into it, you coerced them, you know, whatever. You know that place. We've all been there. Oh crap. I need one more promoter to earn this trip to to Tahiti. I'm going to go and I'm going to talk so and so into doing it. And you're really expecting that person to ever work the business? It's like, duh, not going to
Mhm.
work. So everything you said, like gold, 100% pure gold. There is no magic to helping somebody VIP. In fact, most people won't. That's just the name of the game. The magic is in keeping someone and making them see that long-term big vision goal. This takes time. We don't expect you to know anything. You're going to stumble, you're going to fall. It's okay. I guess it's that reassurance. It's just perfect. How do you keep yourself motivated? Because I mean, dude, I just celebrated 10 years and there are some days that I'm like, I just do not want to do this anymore.
I'm done.
I'm out. Peace.
Well, I think it's an everyday thing, you know. I think like, you know, growth has to be chosen again and again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. And you know, and I think a lot of times too is like when you just, you know, let's say you met a mark that you wanted to, or you think that you're going to be happy if you get to a certain level or sign so many people up or whatever. um well, for the fact I know what we have our hands on, right? And that's kind of a big deal. But I just know life's hard anyways, like just life in general is hard. And I feel like the moment that we hesitate on anything that we do, like I think that's what we do is we hesitate. We hesitate to grow. We hesitate to open up that book. We hesitate to press play on Audible. And I think it's your mindset. Like again, like there's not every day is not so like there's days that I'm like, oh my God, how much more can I self-develop? Like my brain is about to explode. But yeah, sure, there's days that there's not. But I'll be honest with you, the days that I'm quiet, Lisa, and that I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed in some sense of fashion, that's when I get completely quiet. I have to stop. There's so much noise around. There's so much noise in the world that I know there is sometimes if I am feeling at a funk, let's say, there's two things I do. I get quiet a couple times a day, then I go deep into growth because I know there's valleys in this business. It'll always be. That is life. That is life no matter where you are. This is not just Lavelle. This is life. I looked at my Facebook yesterday, I had memories that came up, and I was at the swim pool, like whatever, last year with 1,000 people. We're all in a pool. I'm like, wow, who would have thought 365 days later, that's not even something that's possible, you know? And so I'll be honest, like my stuff isn't so much like a network marketing conversation, but in a sense of, I'm very gifted and blessed every single morning that I wake up. And I'm not just saying that. I really thank God every single day that I wake up that I have I have a chance again to make my life better, but I have a chance to give to try to put an impact on others. And that really is what gets me going. So if I'm ever in the valley, because we're all getting there. That's when I self-develop more and I have to skate myself out of it. It was just like a month ago. I was in a valley. I was in a freaking valley. I was like, ugh. Like, it wasn't so much business. I don't know. I mean, maybe it was the aftermath of quarantine and all the things and all the things. I went into literally listening to 4 books a day, different ones in different meetings. And if you should see my notebooks, I wrote 14 books. I swear to God, in the last 4 days. Like, I'm listening to it and I'm writing it down at the same time. You just have to get yourself out of that funk before it even processes, before it even starts to marinate, because it takes you forever to get back out. You know what I mean? So once you feel that, something, even if it's with your business, is it with your family? But a lot of times family turns into business, business turns into family. So life is growth everywhere, right? We got to grow in all aspects because there's every part of our life is different. You know what I mean? On the things that happen. So I just say self-development, growth, and being quiet, being still sometimes, and just being like, let me just meditate here, because life is going to come at us at always. Fear and self-doubt impacts everything in your life. It impacts everything. If you're starting to doubt yourself that you're not a good enough leader, you're doubting yourself because you haven't signed somebody up in 30 days. You're doubting yourself because, I don't know, maybe you just feel like a bad parent right now. That impacts everything. You can get yourself right out of it. You can, not right out of it, but you can reset. You can reset at any time in your life. You don't have to stay that way. Weeks on and weeks on and weeks on. And it's hard to get out. It is just that one time that you go to Google or YouTube and put in any video that you fell in love with and you've watched before, watch it again. Actually, then just watch it again and watch it again. A lot for me, I haven't listened to it probably in 6 months, but Jump. That, if you haven't seen that, Jump by Steve Harvey, there's 2 videos. There's one that he's at the Family Feud. There's one that's actually a video attached to it, like, a motivational video. Watch that. It's 5 minutes. It could change the way that your day is, because self-doubt and fear will literally threaten your future. Your future depends on what you do today. It's not what you did yesterday. It's not what you did a month ago. It's not even what you do tomorrow. It's what you do today, because our impulses, I believe, Lisa, is another reason that we fear and doubt everything. I'm listening to that Mel Robbins again, that 54321. I listened to it before. I've been implementing it in almost everything in my life. I started listening to it again, and our impulses threaten our future as well. If you hear Paul Gravett say, "Oh, get 2 or 3 people on a call and have them share their Thrive experience," and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm going to," and then I'm not going to do it. If we don't make those decisions on those quick impulses, then we don't do the things. How many things have you said that you were going to do just in the last 2 weeks that you didn't do yet? Because again, the moment you have that small hesitation in anything, it's a kiss of death. It's the kiss of death. So if you want to watch that, Mel Robbins, I told you, don't go to do books. No, I read them and listen to them all the time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make that decision. If you want to have your first team call, your first team anything, and you have 2 people on your team, and that's awesome, do that team call. Get in that messenger and say, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you guys tonight at 7 o'clock for 10 minutes. Start growing you so you can help your team grow. Right? Because it's nice to hear from everybody. I mean, I get on these calls. I mean, obviously Lisa's not on my, we're sidelines, but I look forward to these calls because she interviews people that are doing the do. And there's nothing that I could not learn from somebody. I know there's no ceiling to success. And I know that I have to develop my way through life. Remember, growth has to be chosen every single day. Fear must be overcome every single day. Do you guys know that income seldom exceeds personal development? There's not many people that that says, I don't think that I want to grow my mind. This thing that
Dude,
controls
that is
everything.
such a heavy statement. Income seldom exceeds personal development. Is that what you said?
I think so.
Oh my God. That's like genius. Like,
Yeah.
you will only grow your income was only going to grow as far as you were willing to grow yourself in your mind. If you want to stay stuck, you know, it's just like getting to an example, like everything you just said. Oh my God. Like everything. I could go over this all day long. But when there's just a lot of things hitting home, because it's like, if I feel stuck, what am I doing right now to do something different? Right? I mean, I can sit here and complain and go, gosh, I just feel like I'm stuck in this rut right now. I feel like I can't find, it's not even about signing a customer promoter. Maybe it's just you feel like you're not moving forward. And it's like, what am I trying to do differently or add into my, pool of whatever, learning something new, to do something new. There's never enough learned. There's never, you haven't learned it all ever. There's never not a road that there is to choose to go down. There's
Mm-hmm.
plenty. You just have to make the choice to do it. And
Mm-hmm.
something you said that really hit home is, how many things this week have you said you were going to do that you didn't? I mean, gosh, I'm guilty of that. Oh, I'm going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it tomorrow. Yep, I'm going to start that tomorrow. Yep, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to do this today. And it doesn't get done. Why didn't it get done? It's cuz you were just too lazy to do it. You made excuses, whatever. You just have to do it. Like, you have to jump
Mm-hmm.
in. Dude, mate, Courtney, you might have a career in motivational speaking if
Oh,
anything happens.
sign me
If
up.
anything happens to this gig, I do it, which is doubtful. But I think you've got a career in motivational speaking. What, you know, when you think back on your time, almost 6 years in Lavelle, what do you feel like is the biggest things that's come out of this for you personally, for your family? Like, what is joining this business? Like, if you could pick the three best things that it's ever done for your life, what would it be?
I love that I've replaced most of all my bad habits with good ones, with the help of self development, with the help of feeling great. Um, I've realized that what you focus on grows. So if I'm going to be focusing on all these terrible things that are happening in my life, or if I didn't grow quick enough, or if I'm not signing people up, I know that's what will grow. Um, I remember your question. That was too. I don't know. I don't know.
Just
I
want to
just
know, like, what are the things
changed.
the
I mean,
best
obviously,
thing
it
that's ever
changed.
happened to you because of Lavelle?
I mean, it changed my whole life. I mean, you know my story a little bit. Some people might not on here, and I don't want to say it's not about money, but y'all hit the promoter button, so it's something to do with money. I mean, you would have just stayed a customer if you didn't want to make money, right? I mean, Lisa knows, but I went before I was with Lavelle, and this is pretty huge, so huge. I mean, I think about it every day, and I thank God for it every single day. I live in Ohio, which is obviously cold a lot of the year. And I lived in a house with my family, 3 kids and husband, and we actually only had 2 rooms in that house that had heat. Our kitchen and our living room, not even in the bedrooms, not even the bathroom. Lived there for 10 years. Just imagine how my kids couldn't have friends over. Definitely not in the winter, because they were never in their room. They slept in our room for their whole life, because you couldn't have a heater in there, because when it was like winter, because you don't want a heater in there. I tell you what, we got that mapped up, how to keep those 2 rooms either warm or cold, right? Saying yes to the Thrive experience, putting my blinders on, self-developing, not worrying what anybody else thinks about me, and knowing that nobody else pays my bills. And you know what? God gave us all a gift. And if He put this in my heart to do this business, then I knew that's something I absolutely had to run with. And then within 2 years of signing up with Lavelle, I moved to my dream home, and that changed my life. And it's not, and the products do what it needs to do, but it has a lot to do with getting up every day and choosing growth, and letting go of the fear, letting go of the self-doubt, and know that we're supposed to be on earth, and you're supposed to do all you can. You're not supposed to be miserable every single day. You're not supposed to be tired every single day. People do think because they get older that they should feel worse. Well, I'm getting older, so I'm supposed to be more tired. I'm getting older, so I shouldn't have all these discomforts. You literally can have the best life for the rest of your life. And it's just what you This controls all of your body. You guys know that stress can kill people. I'm not talking thrive, not even that kind of stress, but you know that stress literally can break down someone's body. That people are hospitalized because of stress and fear and anxiety. But we can do things to get rid of some of the bad habits, put the good habits in. And that's all. That's what I'm gonna say.
No, it's perfect. Like when I always think about that story when you say you used to go in your car to
two
do
years,
calls.
two
Yeah.
years.
I mean, to do calls. And like I remember you saying you were like when you started Thrive, you were embarrassed to have people over your house. Like
Hmm.
it that's so relatable. I mean, I remember being there feeling like, "Oh my god, I don't want anybody to know I drive this car." Like the most embarrassing thing would be pulling up to people's houses with a car that I had to crawl out the back door of because none of
Right,
the other doors opened. Like you just think
right.
about life before and you're like, and it's the life you lived most of your life. Like people,
Hmm.
a lot of people look at your story right now and they think that it's just been so great. A lot of people look at my story and go, "Oh, you're just so blessed." For 36 years of my life, it sucked. I didn't find network marketing until I was 30, 35, 36 years old. That's the majority of my life. I've only been in network marketing for 10 years. I've only seen the success I've been seeing now for like the last 8 years. And yes, life looks pretty now, but believe me, you do not forget where you came from. You don't forget what you went through. You know, you yeah, you wouldn't be the person you are today if you didn't go through those things and appreciate what you have so much more. But also, and I know you're the same way as I am, Courtney, that's what drives and fuels me every day because I know what it's like and I cannot wait to help somebody that is where I was, that's where they are right now. I cannot wait to that's what gets me up every day. I can't wait to see one more person on my team, get heat in their house, go to the grocery store and not have to, go fill up their gas tank without having to look at how much gas they just put in their car. Whatever it is, that's what drives and fuels me every day because when you know what's possible, when your eyes have been opened like ours have, when we
Hmm.
know that we're just normal people that have been through so many different things in our life, things we'll probably never share with people. And to know where we are, that we are not anyone special, that anybody can do what we've done, it just fuels you. I know it does because we talk about this, but I know we're both fueled that same way where that is what keeps us going, even on the days where we don't feel like doing this.
Hmm.
Helping one more person do it.
Yeah,
It's just so
yeah.
awesome. Courtney, you're awesome. Thank
You're
you for
awesome. I'm going to say one
hopping
last
on.
thing and we
Yes,
can be
please.
done. Um, when we're talking about habits, being a slave to your good habits, stop being a slave to your impulses. That's all I want to say. Your impulses, you become a slave of all the things you're not going to do. You're going to do this, you're going to do that, and you just don't do it. Don't be a slave of that. Be a slave of your good habits, and your life will definitely turn around.
I love it. Perfect advice, perfect ending to a perfect call. We just got paid 3 minutes ago. There isn't a Tuesday that I do not literally thank God for, not just because it's changed my life, but because it's changing all of your guys' lives too. And how many lives that we haven't even touched yet? How many people that have not even signed up with this yet that don't even know it? That one day are going to be affected by this. Do you guys realize there's somebody right now out there that's going to be a millionaire in Lavelle that has not signed up yet that could be your
Hmm.
next promoter? How exciting is that? And you know how I know that? Because I just had somebody on my team that just signed 2 years ago that had never done network marketing before hit $1 million on our team.
Wow.
I mean, the person that's next to you at the grocery store, the person you just met in your dog group, the person that you just saw at the gas station, they could be the next future Lavelle millionaire in less than 2 years, and you could sign them up. That is why I have to tell everybody about this because a life could change that drastically. And it's just overwhelming to think about. Oh my gosh, I could be on here all day. Courtney, I love you. You guys are
Love you.
awesome. Happy payday. You guys, every week, same time, same link, this call, different interview, gold every week, like my favorite call. You guys make sure you save it in your phone, 12 noon Eastern, this link. I will see you guys next Tuesday. New guest. Happy payday. Thanks again, Kortney.
Bye.